The main message, as Mrinalini said, that it was not, spirituality is not a practice, but it's a perception. So little differently I put that it is not an exercise. That is, every day I sit for meditation half an hour or 1 hour. Every day I read a few shlokas, chant a few shlokas. Every day I worship, I go to the temple, or I do this, do that. That kind of exercise, okay, it is good as far as we are in worldly life. Then it is better than fully remaining engrossed in the worldly things, which we generally do. So all these worship and exercises, or at least for some time our mind is kept away from the worldliness. So they have great role to play. But when we are looking for the self, we are working for self-realization, or we want to know the truth, then this kind of exercise only will only delude us. We will go on doing the exercises throughout our life without advancing towards the truth. So rather than doing everything as a matter of exercise, I was repeatedly emphasizing, comparing from the examples and the shlokas and all, that we have to make our perception subtle. For that, we have to expand our mind. We have to refine our buddhi, so that seeing the same world, the subtle spirit, we are able to perceive. Be it the bad things or the good things, behind everything we should be able to perceive the real spirit, which is our own identity. This is a case of perception. That is what I was trying to emphasize. It's not through exercise, but all our perceptions have to be transformed, all our ideas, our preference, prejudices have to be transformed to progress on this path. That was the main message. Okay, we start. Namo namaste gurave mahatmani vimukta sangaya saduttamaya Nityadvayanandarasasvarupine Bhumne sada paradayam budhamne Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurte Namaste Namaste Tapoyogagamya Namaste Namaste Shrutijnanagamya Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmani Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Janmase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Can you put the fan a little and slow? Should not produce any sound, but it should be. It's quite hot here, warm. Temperature 26 to ठीक ही है, but you can see. Put the fan slowly on. So, we are now in Shiksha Verily, that's the first Verily. Oh, Shanti Mantra we have not done, no? Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha.
Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanno Vishnururukramah.
Shanno Vishnurukramaha.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Rutam vadishyami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Tanmamavatu.
Tanmamavatu.
Tadvaktaramavatu.
Tadvaktaramavatu.
Avatu mamavatu vaktaram.
Avatu mamavatu vaktaram.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat. See, we have been going through up to the 7th anuvaka. We have done. It is by itself, it is a complete section where we have been going through various processes of upasana. Upasana means we take some alambana, some support, and on that basis we want to integrate our mind, converge our mind, make our mind ekagra, one-pointed. That is the purpose of upasana. The first was Samhita Upasana with the aksharas. That Shikshavalli starts with the pronunciation. There how to, the pronunciation of the different letters, different syllables, they were taken as an alambana for meditation. Then we moved over to Vyahriti Upasana, that Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, all those things. There also those words were taken to focus our mind from the gross and then to the subtlest, finally up to the Brahman. So the varieties also were the different models of Upasana. One can take any one can take all of them, it does not matter. The purpose, we should not forget, the purpose is to make our mind one-pointed, take it away from grossness, multiplicity, and focus it on subtlety, oneness, subtle oneness. From multiplicity to oneness, from grossness to subtlety. Then, the last shloka, that is the 7th one, we have discussed again several other models of Upasana, which is referred to as Pankta. Pankta means 5-5-5 model. In the level of the cosmic dimension as well as in the individual dimension. One is Adhibhuta, another is Adhyatmika. In both the dimensions, these 5-5 models were taken to take our mind to the subtle oneness of truth, to the Brahman. And there we ended with that it is the individual 5 elements that is interacting with the cosmic 5 elements, and through that our whole mind is taken to the, whatever we are doing, it is actually an interaction, which sounds very close to what Bhagavad Gita said, that guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. Guna guneshu vartante. Guna guneshu vartante means our body, mind, personality, our vyaktitva, our personality, it is a product of nature. Nobody should forget that. Our body, mind, personality is born of the mother's womb. It's a product of nature. So in nature, everything is made of 3 gunas. There cannot be anything without a one guna out of it also. Everything will have sattva, rajas, tamas. So our body is made of 3 gunas, and the whole world we are interacting with is also made of 3 gunas. So if we have a real vision, a vision of truth, then we will find that the 3 gunas in the form of our own personality is interacting with the 3 gunas only in the form of the external universe. And I am nowhere there. My identity is only a witness of this game, of this phenomena going on in the universe, which includes my own body, mind, personality also. But the real I is only a revealer of this, or observer of this, or the substratum of this on which this play is going on. So there we have used the model of 5-5-5. Just like Panchabhuta, I explained that the Panchabhuta model of our shastras, it is always valid. In science, the elements of nature, they go on changing. But in our scripture, the whole scriptural science is a subjective science. Our perception of the world, of the universe, it depends on our 5 indriyas, our 5 sense organs. If we develop 2 more organs, indriyas, then we will not see the world in the same manner. Even with the same organs, if you develop microscopic vision or some other, you can say the elementary particle vision also, the world will be entirely different. So the world perception depends on our 5 sense organs. Whatever the world be, what we are interacting with is what is appearing in our consciousness. Whatever is not appearing, we don't know them. So it is, we are interacting with the Panchabhuta world. That is the solid basis of our shastras. Now, these are all upasanas. This 5-5 model also, I am calling them model because they are given some intuitive feeling. Any model can work, but the model has to be properly composed so that it appeals to us and we are able to use this as alambana or support. But using these, we can focus our mind, we can integrate our mind, we can make our mind one-pointed and finally go to the Brahma Upasana. Now from 8th it is called Pranava Upasana. Pranava means the Omkara. It is also called Omkara Upasana. Pranava or Omkara, both are same. All the Upasana, now this 8th anuvaka will be discussing about the Pranava Upasana, which is there in all Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Omkara has got a rare space, no parallel is there in our shastras. That Omkara itself is representing Brahma Vidya. Omkara itself is representing the truth. It is past, present and future and beyond time also, transcending time also. So, while studying this 8th anuvaka, we will try to remember from different Upanishads how they have mentioned about Omkara. I have quoted only one here, but there are many. In Bhagavad Gita itself, there will be many quotations. But at least one from each will help us to understand how this Pranava or Omkara is given the supreme position in all our practices. It is always called the Pranava Upasana or Omkara Upasana. Both are used there. We will first chant the 8th anuvaka. Om iti Brahma.
Om iti Brahma.
Om iti idam sarvam.
Om iti idam sarvam.
It is Om iti idam sarvam. Om iti Brahma. That the Brahman, whatever we are saying, Om itself is the Brahman. That is the first statement. Om itself is the Brahman. Then Om itself is everything what we are seeing. Idam sarvam means whatever we are seeing, external, internal, everything is Omkara. Om iti Brahma.
Om iti Brahma.
Om iti idam sarvam.
Om iti idam sarvam.
You will find a different symbol in many of the books. All may not find, but in many of the idam, Om iti idam sarvam, that idam, instead of the dot, you will find there Chandrabindu like thing is there, which is generally in Vedic chanting, it should be pronounced as gum. We don't use, and the modern books, many of them, they do not write that also. It is, most of the books, it is just a dot. The anuswara is used. Otherwise, it will be Om iti idagum sarvam. Om iti idagum sarvam. That is for Chandasa also, that gum comes. In Kathopanishad, you will find in many places that gum comes. But the modern books, they don't write. Om iti Brahma.
Om iti Brahma.
Om iti idam.
Om iti idam.
Om iti idam sarvam.
Om iti idam sarvam.
Om ityetad anukritihi.
Om ityetad anukritihi.
Om ityetad anukritihi.
Om ityetad anukritihi.
Hasma va apyo.
Hasma va apyo.
Hasma va.
Hasma va.
This ha, sma, va, these are all for emphasis only. These are abhyaya shabdas. Avyayam, it's only like cha. Chavai tu hi, cha, vai, tu, hi, like that, ha, sma, va. These are all indeed, definitely. These are emphasizing. If we don't believe in their words, so they have emphasizing that Om iti etad anukritihi. Then he is saying hasma va. Api o shravayet, o shravayet, o shravayeti, ashravayanti. See, shravayeti and ashravayanti. That shravayeti and a together, it becomes shravayatya shravyanti. So we will split it for our convenience. Om iti etad, om iti etad anukritihi.
Om ityetad anukritihi.
Hasma va api.
Hasma va api.
O shravayet.
O
Shravayeti.
O shravayeti.
O shravayeti.
O shravayeti.
Ashravayanti.
Ashravayanti.
Om iti samani gayanti.
Om iti samani gayanti.
Om iti samani gayanti.
Om iti samani gayanti.
Om Shom iti shastrani shamsanti.
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 Om iti advaryuh
advaryuh
pratigaram pratigranati.
pratikaram pratigranati.
Om ityadvaryuh
Om ityadvaryuh
pratigaram pratigranati.
pratigaram pratigranati.
Om iti brahma prasauti.
Om iti brahma prasauti.
Om ityagnihodram
Om ityagnihodram
anujanati.
anujanati.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyan.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyan.
Aha.
Aha.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyannaha.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyannaha.
Brahmopapnavaniti.
Brahmopapnavaniti.
Brahmaivopapnoti.
Brahmaivopapnoti.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyannaha.
Om iti brahmana pravaksyannaha.
Brahmopapnavaniti.
Brahmopapnavaniti.
Brahmaivopapnoti.
Brahmaivopapnoti.
Iti ashtamo anuvakaha. Iti ashtama anuvakaha. Therefore, this is the 8th anuvaka. Now, first one is Om iti Brahma. Then he is saying Om iti idam sarvam. These two I have already said. Then coming to Om iti etad anukritihi. Anukritihi means sammati, consent. Anukritihi is referred to, suppose in Sanskrit, generally, when something we consent, we say yes, or yes, you may, something like that, you can. In Sanskrit, we say Om. That is the Anukriti. Om means giving our consent that yes, you can go ahead. Like that, you can give various examples in the Vedas that when somebody is pouring ghee in the Yajna Kunda, Homa Kunda. So the chief priest, Ritik, the chief priest, will be allowing the offerer to now offer your ghee in the Homa Kunda. So he will say Om. So the ghee person will understand and he will start offering ghee there. Like that in anything, the permission is given, the consent is given by Om. This is a very strange thing I never knew that in the Upanishad it is mentioned like that. That how much of Om is used everywhere. In Bhagavad Gita we find that all the mantras, they are initiated with an Om in front. That means they want us to say Om as many times as possible throughout the day. And it will have its effect. As our Swamiji often chants 3 times Om in the beginning. And he says that even some medical reasoning also, that melatonin secretion and all. So, that how good it is for our brain, how good it is for the atmosphere, how good it is for the whole world. So generally when Swamiji is chanting the 3 times Om in the beginning of all programs he chants, he says that you contemplate that we are doing it for the welfare of the entire universe. So the chanting should start from within and spread over the entire universe, spreading auspiciousness everywhere. See, this is where I am saying perception. It is not just a practice of Omkara. While chanting, your mind should become so free, wide, expanded that you will think of the whole universe, that my chanting should spread over the whole universe, bringing in auspiciousness everywhere. By that, whether the universe is benefited or not, yes, it is benefited, but if that doesn't matter at all. You are benefited. That's the main thing. By chanting like this, by contemplating like this, by changing our perception that always we are selfish, we are only thinking of us. Even when we are trying to listen to lectures on the self, our mind is selfish, small self, not the real self. We think only how can I become self-realized, how can I have good meditation, how can I have this, how can I have that. The whole thing has to undergo a great change. The mind should always remain universal, all-pervading. Then automatically you become the self. You don't have to put effort for self-realization. But people don't understand what can be done. So, by repeated chanting of Om, actually Om is it represents Brahma Vidya. What is Brahman? Brahman is the single truth on which the whole universe appears to be. So it is all pervading, everywhere there is Brahman. So Om, this very Om chanting will make our mind all pervading. If you chant closing your ears, you will feel inspired, because the whole sound, normally you are hearing with the ears. When we are chanting Om, we are hearing with the ears. But suppose you close the ear, then the sound will come exclusively from within. And if you chant properly, that chanting itself will put you into meditation. It will be so reverberating. Close the 2 ears and then chant. You will find that the whole inside is reverberating with the Om and going to silence finally, if you chant the Om properly. So he says, Om iti etad anukritihi. This Om is actually the consent for everything, everywhere it is used. Has, ma, va, api. Even in case of when the Vedic Ritiks are chanting, then the chief priest will say, O Shravayet. That means now you chant for the devas. See, the human beings will make the devas also liberated. You chant for the devas. So they will, Shravayati. Then what will happen? Ashravayanti. All the priests then will chant for the devas to listen. Now, who are the devas? Prakriti. All the devas are the fundamental powers of Prakriti. So actually by chanting for the devas means we are pleasing nature by that. So that nature becomes auspicious to us, nature becomes propitious to us. It is propitiating nature through all this chanting. That is what the Vedic people used to do. Even for rain or for proper seasons, they would chant for the devas to hear, for the Prakriti, and it would have its effect correspondingly. So, Shravayati means you Shravayat, the word is that Shravayati, that means you make them listen, that means you chant for the others. And Ashravayanti, the moment he gets the consent or Anukritihi, the Ritiks, they chant for the devas. Om iti samani gayanti. Now, these are one after another, Vedas are also linked. If you read the books, I think most of the books will give you. The first one is for the Rig Vedis, that they will chant the mantras, richas, the Rig Vedic mantras. The second one is the Samaveda. That Samaveda is always sung. It has a tune. It's a long drawn tune, not like the tunes we generally do. It is all that prolonged expressions of the sound is there. So the Samani, whenever we say Samaveda, that they gayanti, they sing. We use the word sing. So Om iti samani gayanti. So when they are singing the Samavedas, that's Samavedis are singing the Samagana, it's called Samagana. Everything will start with the Om. They will sing the Om. In some cases they will recite the Om, here they will sing the Om. Then comes Om Shom iti shastrani shamsanti. Shom is actually coming from the Shan, that Shamno Mitra, from Sukha, from Shanti. So Om Shom is also somewhat like Om. It is bringing in the Shama to the world. So Om Shom, this is a chanting mantra there. Om Shom iti shastrani shamsanti. Shastrani. We know of Astra, Shastra. Shastra is actually the mantras which do not have any tune. Generally in Rig Veda or in Yajur Veda, generally they are called Shastra, I think. It is there, I had written down somewhere. In Rig Veda, generally Rig Veda doesn't have any tune. So there the mantras, some mantras there are called shastras, not all mantras. So those they are referring to. Maybe they are used for gaining some power and all. Om Shom iti shastrani shamsanti. Shamsanti means start singing. But how can they sing? If it is Shastrani, they cannot sing. Non-musical there. The chanting it should be. In Bengali, I don't know in other languages, we always say Astra Shastra. Is it used in other languages? So maybe I was thinking that astra is the weapons. What is the shastra? Because those days most of the weapons were through mantras. The very powerful like Brahmastra and all, they were all depending on mantras. Lot of mind control, many things were necessary. The mind has to be made ekagra. So whether these represent that, I don't know, but in the book they mention that shastras are those mantras from Rig Veda which do not have any tune. Then comes Om iti advaryuhu. Advaryuhu are the Ritikas, those who do the yaga, the Yajur Veda yaga. It is not only Yajur Veda, others are also there. But mostly it is referred to as Yajur Veda. In this book they have written the priest in Yajuhu sacrifice. Pratigrinati, pratigaram pratigrinati, om iti. That is in Yajur Veda sacrifice, homa, yajna, whatever they do it with om. Whatever they are giving, offering, they do it with om. Om iti Brahma prasauti. Now this Brahma actually, it can refer to the creator Brahma also, but generally if all the Vedas are, Brahma is the chief priest, generally they will be Chaturvedi. Not today the surname Chaturvedi is there everywhere. Without knowing any Veda they are Chaturvedis. But those days Chaturvedi means those who know all the four Vedas. It is something very, very rare. In one lifetime it is not easy. So they will be given the position of Brahma, that means the highest position in the Yajna. So they will permit everything and indicate approval. Prasauti means he will indicate his approval. Oh yes, you can do it. It has to be done now. So he sits there and directs all the activities during the Yajna, Yaga, etc. See, this is because we are moving from the Karma Kanda to the Jnana Kanda. This Upanishad, lot of things are spoken of which is being done in the Vedas. So they want, basically as in Kathopanishad, at the end, it is written that this Kathopanishad should be explained in Shraddha Sabha and Brahmana Sabha. Why? Shraddha Sabha means when somebody has died. Now what is the fundamental question from Nachiketa? What happens when the body falls? I would like to know whether anything is there or nothing is there. Some people say nothing is there, some people say something is there. Oh Yamaraja, I would like to know the truth of what happens when the body falls by remaining under your tutelage. That was his question. So naturally when somebody smashana in the Shraddha Sabha, not Smashana, there also. In the Shraddha Sabha, somebody has died. So we are thinking of somebody who was there, who is not there. So that is the time, if you read Kathopanishad, then they will take interest. Normally, if you catch people from the market and ask them to listen to Kathopanishad, they will not. Till somebody dies in their house and they are come for Shraddha, there you catch hold of them and start telling the story of Kathopanishad. Then they will take in, oh, Nachiketa asked, what happens? What has happened? The person who has died, is he still in the Swarga or he has gone to the Naraka, or which Sarga of the... And can I see him? Can I talk to him? So many questions will be there. So that is the time you can take that, you can tell them that there is something which never dies. That is the response of Kathopanishad. You are thinking when the body falls, what happens to the Atma? Arey, Atma nothing happens to the Atma when the body falls. So, the Atma which is there when the body is alive, and Atma which is there when the body has fallen, there is no difference in the Atma. So, is not the Atma still there when the body has fallen? It remains. So, something is there is the truth, but what is there to know that? You have to pursue the truth. Then only you will be able to realize that. That is about the Shraddha Sabha. And why Brahmana Sabha? Because the Brahmanas are given to that. In the beginning of this Upanishads also we have seen that they are given to chanting so much that they forget all other things. That all the importance goes to the pronunciation and chanting. And you will find in many places when they chant, it is the Madhurya also will not be there. They become so used to chanting that from a distance you will feel that they are fighting with each other. I am not criticizing them, there are good chanters also, but this is what happens. In our case also, we often have to remind the people chanting in the Samadhi Mandir that don't make it a ladai, or don't make it a gasping. Some people, they are gasping with the Vishnu Sahasranam. Are Vishnu Sahasranam is to make our body, mind, personality very calm. It should institute a pranayama in our body. So we should do it with a lot of stability, lot of poise and madhurya. Just because the ucharanas are very cut everything properly to do that, we cannot lose the madhurya there. The madhurya has to be there. Sweetness have to be there. It has to be there. So, why did I say this? Brahmana Sabha. That why? Because the Brahmanas are given to Karmakanda. They are the Karmakandis basically. So, to raise them from the bondage of karmas to the Jnana Marga is not going to be easy. In Mandukya Upanishad, in Kathopanishad, they have said that they don't believe that there is something beyond this. So, the Upanishads are criticizing that those who, they are doing the karma, okay, but they should know that there is something higher and they should reach that also in proper time. If they don't accept that there is something higher, then how can they rise to the occasion? The Sarve Vedayat Padamamananti, all the Vedas are speaking about the final truth, not about the karmas. So whatever is being done, the ultimate aim is to attain the truth. That nobody should forget. That is why the Kathopanishad is to be read in Brahmana Sabha. Here also they are talking about all the karmas of the Vedas to remind them that it is the Omkara which is the most important there. And what does this Pranava or Omkara represent? It represents your own real identity. That is the ultimate truth. In doing, why are you saying Om Om Om? Because that is the fundamental truth which you have to realize. Om iti Agnihotram anujanati. Those who are pursuing Agnihotra generally is done by the Grihasthas at home. They have to preserve the fire also. Here one family, I was told that their fire is 350 years old or so. It should not get extinguished. They were preserving the fire. So they do it like that, the fire at home. They do the Agnihotra. Even now many people do Agnihotra. So there also it is the Omkara in everything they do. The Omkara is playing the most important role. Those who perform the Agnihotra sacrifice say Om to signal the beginning of the sacrifice. Actually end also. In Shanti Mantra we start with Om and end with also. upapnavani iti. Upapnavani iti. It is coming from upapnavani iti. That is, when he wishes to study the Vedas, he has the sankalpa that I would like to realize the Brahman. There also they are saying Omkara, thinking that by this I will realize the self, the Brahman. And Brahma eva upapnoti, and they do realize Brahman. They do the yajna with the sankalpa that I will realize the Brahman. Those who are doing with that sankalpa, they will realize also. So everywhere this Omkara, the role of Omkara is very important because it is representing Brahma Vidya. It symbolizes Brahma Vidya. So this is what the 8th anuvaka is. Now let us go into the other Upanishads a little to see. I have made a listing here. Mandukya Upanishad. I think the slide it is given. 2.2.4 and 5 and 6. Let us first start with Kathopanishad, the next slide, I think. Kathopanishad, the Nachiketa was asking the question and Yamaraja was saying, you are a small child, 7-year-old boy, you will not be able, it's not meant for you, you will become a king, rule the kingdom of the whole earth, I will give you this, that, etc. I will give you 1,000 years of ayus. Don't ask that question. Then finally he understood that Nachiketa is not a person who can be refused. So he starts his Upadesha, advice, with a shloka. That is the first shloka in that Upadesha section. Sarve Veda yat padam amananti tapamsi sarvani yachad vadanti yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena bravimi om iti etad. Om iti etad. See how he is introducing the Brahma Vidya with Om iti etad. This Om is the representing Brahma Vidya. It is the symbol of Brahma Vidya. Sarve Veda yat padamamananti. In all the 4 Vedas, they are speaking about this goal. Pada means this pedestal, this goal. All the Vedas, they are doing so many, they are speaking about so many kinds of yaga, yajna, tapasa, upavasa, so many things. But the purpose is only this, that finally through all these things, a person should realize his real identity, his own identity. That is the goal of all the Vedas. Sarve Veda yat padam amananti. Tapamsi sarvani chayad vadanti. There in our shastras they speak about so many kinds of tapas, so many kinds of austerities. What are austerities? How do you know which is austerity and which is not? Given our nature, always there is a tendency to follow our worldliness, follow the preference and prejudice of our sense organs, also mind and buddhi following that. So wherever we have to restrict this tendency, it becomes an austerity. Suppose you want to eat sweet, you like sweet, the tongue is looking for sweet, but you know that too much of sweet is not good, you restrict it, or you don't take sweet. These are all austerities. Food, you are too much given to food, always you are taking food, so if one day if you have to miss food, then you cannot bear it. That means you are becoming slave to food. Throughout the day you think how many things we are becoming slave to. Every day in every action we are becoming slave to the temperature, slave to the fan, slave to the food, slave to water. Everywhere it's our slavery to the world. So whatever we practice to win over the slavery is called austerity or tapasya, tapas. Suppose the mind is constantly thinking irrelevant things. That is its way. But if we withdraw the mind for at least 5 minutes also doing some puja or so, what are you doing? That the worldliness of the mind you are withdrawing and making it one-pointed. Or suppose you are trying to have the mind silenced. These are all austerities because it is increasing your paurusha, your willpower to not to become slave to the world, not to become slave to your senses, not to become slave to our body, mind, personality. That is, it relieves you from slavery, makes you master of yourself. That is called tapas. Now in the Vedas, so many kinds of tapas are there. Why? Because they want you to enhance your paurusha and win over the slavery to the world, slavery to the senses. So whatever tapas we do, it is actually paying us in winning over our slavery, and which is absolutely important in knowing the self. Because self we will never know as long as we are dasa, we are slave to the likes and dislikes of our sense organs. So, sarve vedayat padam amananti tapamsi sarvani chajad vadanti yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti. People take to celibacy, lifelong celibacy, all these. This is again not to be slave to our senses, but to win over our slavery to the senses. Actually, truly speaking, brahmacharya means brahmacharati. That means brahmani charati. That means one who always is thinking of the Brahman. But generally, brahmachari means one who is doing the tapasya of restricting his sexual habits. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena bravimi. Oh Nachiketa, I will tell you that goal, that pada, that ultimate auspicious goal. Sangrahena means in essence, I will collect the essence from all the Vedas, all the Upanishads and give you the truth of that, tell you the truth of that. What is it? Om iti etad, Om iti etad. That is what is Om. Now, when you do the Omkara as an Upasana, as it is in this 8th section, it is still an Upasana, then you utilize the sound of the Omkara and your conception about the Omkara. But in Jnana Tapas also, this Omkara is actually the representation of the truth. It's a symbol of the Brahma Vidya. Now, Kathopanishad, after saying this is the first introduction to Nachiketa about the Brahma Vidya. Sarve vedayat padamamananti tapamsi sarvani chajad vadanti yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena bravimi. Om ittetad. Then he is saying how it is used. Etadhyevaksharam brahma. The next slide, I think. Etadhyevaksharam brahma, etadhyevaksharam param, etadhyevaksharam jnatva yo yadichati tasya tad. He says, etad hi eva aksharam brahma. This alone is representing the Brahman, the truth. Etadhyeva aksharam param. This alone is the supreme truth. Etadhyeva aksharam jnatva. By practicing this upasana, by following this Pranava Upasana, Omkara Upasana, when you come to know what is this Omkara, that means what is this truth, what is this Brahman, then whatever you want, it will happen. Means, either you are looking for they generally say that two Brahmans, the one is the Nishkriya, another is the Sakriya, and whichever way you want to go, you will attain. But in another sense, in a deeper sense, whatever you want will happen means, Brahman is what? It is all pervading everywhere. So, when you are knowing that Brahman, then whatever Sankalpa comes to your mind, it will be true. It will be the true Sankalpa of nature and it will happen. That is what clearly told in Mandukya Upanishad also. Now, the next one in Kathopanishad is saying, Etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param, etad alambanam jnatva brahmaloke mahiyate. Now, when you take this Omkara as your alambana, we have been speaking about alambana right from the beginning in this Taittiriya. Alambana means support. Etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param. Now, even if you consider it as a support, you do Omkara, it is not neither shrestha for you nor param for you, because you are busy with so many other things and they have more importance in your life. Omkara hardly has any importance. So when you consider this support, the Omkara, the Brahman, the truth, to be the supreme in your life, then will you not attain the supreme? But we are not giving it the supreme position. So, etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param means you give this Brahma Vidya or Omkara the supreme position in life, then you will come to know what is the truth of it, what is the power of it. Etad alambanam jnatva brahmaloke mahiyate. Because then he becomes one with the Brahman. Brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. He becomes one with the Brahman. That means it takes you ultimately to the ultimate knowledge also. So, in Mandukya Upanishad, 2.2.3, let us say, or 4. 3 and 4 or 2 and 3. Here, the first one most probably is Dhanurbrihitva Upanishadam Mahastram Sharam Hyupasa Nishita Sandhayita Ayamya Tadbhavagatena Chetasa Laksham Tadeva Aksharam Soumya Viddhi. Is it okay? Dhanurbrihitva Upanishadam Mahastram. That you take the bow, it's like a ladai, the warrior. Take the bow. What is the bow? Upanishadam Mahastram. Whatever you have learned from the Upanishads, that is your Mahastra. Whatever you learned from the Upanishads, everywhere you have learned about this truth only. And what have you learned? How to pursue the truth. Take that knowledge as your main weapon. Sharam hi upasa nishita sandhayita. It's excellent expression. What is your shara? Shara is your own Atma, which has to merge with Brahman. Now, how is the shara? Upasa nishita. Upasa nishita. That means you generally sharpen your arrow by rubbing against a stone. Here you have to sharpen your mind and buddhi and your concept of your own identity by what? Upasana. This, why am I saying we are reading all kinds of upasana? Why people are not able to be self-realized? Because they have not done upasana. Upasana is extremely important. Right from the beginning we get interested in the Brahman or self, thinking about it greatly. It's all fine, but one will not be able to clinch the issue like that. The mind has to become ekagra, the bhakti in the mind, the complete emotional association of the mind has to be fully there. That comes from the upasana. So, upasa nishita sandhayita, that shara, that arrow which has been pinpointed by the upasana, you put that on the Upanishadic Mahastra. If you put a non-sharp arrow and put it on the Upanishadic Mahastra, dhanus, the bow, even if you hit and it goes to the target also, it will fall down. It will hit the Omkara, it will hit the Brahman and fall down because it has not been sharpened. Remaining fixed will depend on how much you have sharpened the arrow. Otherwise, like firefly, it will come and you will lose it. It will not be a steady attainment. Sharam hi upasa nishita sandhayita ayamya tadbhavagatena chetasa. With what? Chetas, with your mind, your buddhi, your chetana. Ayamya, as you pull the dhanus. In this case, how are you pulling? Tadbhavagatena chetasa. The mind should be filled with tadbhava, not madbhava. Nothing regarding the small selfish personality and the world it is in. Tadbhava, tat means the truth. Tadbhavagatena chetasa. The mind which has completely gone to that truth. With that mind you pull the Upanishadic Mahastra, that guna of the bow, and then release. Lakshyam tadevaksharam, that is the akshara, the unchanging Omkara. Tadevaksharam saumya viddhi. You hit that target of akshara like that. Then he is saying further that Pranavo dhanusharo hi atma brahmatal lakshyam uchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavat tanmayo bhavet. He says Pranavo dhanuhu. This Upanishadic Mahastra, which he said in the previous verse, Upanishadam Mahastra, that is actually Pranava. He is saying here the Omkara, which represents Brahma Vidya. That is the Dhanus. Pranavo Dhanuhu, Sharohi Atma. That Shara is our Atma. That small Atma, which has to become Brahman. Brahmatal lakshya muchyate. What is the laksha of the arrow? The Atma has to become Brahman. Atma has to leave its smallness and become infinite, universal Brahman. Apramattena vedhavyam. What? Why do you miss? You are not able to hit it because of pramada. Pramada means delusion, false understanding. We think that Brahman is somebody different from me and I will hit it. No, that is the pramada. Brahman is not different from you. Brahman is what you are. You have to understand that. This pramada has to go, that I have to discover something different from me. That pramada has to go. Apramattena vedhavyam. Then when you hit Sharavat Tanmayo Bhavet, a real sharpened arrow which has been sharpened with the Upasa Nishita Sandhayita, that arrow, when it hits the target, it remains fixed there. So the Atma becomes Tanmaya, Tatmaya. That means the Atma becomes Brahman. Sharavat Tanmayo Bhavet. See how Omkara Upasana has been treated in various Upanishads. Next comes 4, 3, 4, 5. Kathopanishad ho gaya. Mandukya 6. Slide number 6. Om ityetad aksharam idam sarvam tasyopavyakhyanam. Mandukya Upanishad is entirely on Omkara. Various aspects of Omkara. At one point, and silence. They are compared with the wakeful state, dream state, sleeping state, and the transcendental Turiya. That is the main topic of Mandukya Upanishad. So the Mandukya is entirely on Omkara. Or Omkara is that which is past, present, future, and transcending time. That is its real nature. See, Om ityetad aksharam idam sarvam. It is everything. It is akshara. It is unchanging. Whatever we see in front, the whole universe, there is nothing unchanging. Everything is changeful. There cannot be anything which is not changing. The unchanging is only the revealer of the world, of the external world, internal world, of everything. That is our consciousness, the Atma. Om ityetad aksharam idam sarvam tasyopa vyakhyanam. We are going to explain that bhutam bhavad bhavishyaditi sarvam omkara eva. It is the past, present and future. Everything is Omkara. Yaccha anyat trikalathitam tad api Omkara eva. And that which is trikalatita means past, present, future, transcending that is called trikalatita, beyond, transcending the three time zones. That also is Omkara. Just now I said that the wakeful, dream, deep sleep, and the Turiya which transcends all the three, which is in all the three, which transcends. And similarly past, present, future, and which transcends time, which is there in all the time. That is all Omkara. That is Mandukya. This is the first mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. Then 7. It is Pranava Upanishad. This is 5.2 of Pranava Upanishad. Then in the 8th slide, Chandogya Upanishad. This is the first verse of Chandogya Upanishad. Then 9, it is Bhagavad Gita. 8.13. Om ityeka aksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yah prayati tyajandeham sayati paramam gatim. Even if you chant Omkara at the end of your life, you will have the ultimate, you will attain the ultimate goal. But nobody will chant, it doesn't come. If you have not chanted the whole life, it will not come. Okay, so this is what 8th. I thought of finishing the 9th also. But that won't be possible. No, next day we will do. See, we are then coming to very important. I am quite amazed. I told you earlier also, I have never studied Taittiriya. But it is giving so much of importance to our daily life. That is something very, very important. That Swamiji, our Swamiji has a book which is written, the title is Become humans first, before becoming divine. What is that? Dear souls, become humans first. Our Vedic Upanishads, they never neglected the life because they know that if one has to have the adhikara for knowledge. Adhikara means fitness for knowledge. Why are we not having the fitness for knowledge? Because we have not lived a life properly, undergoing the Dharma, undergoing the Upasana properly. So they have everywhere emphasized this. You will see in the next verse how much they are saying that. I will just read some of them. In the next one, in the 9th one, Ritam cha svadhyaya pravachane cha satyam cha svadhyaya pravachane cha tapascha svadhyaya pravachane cha damascha svadhyaya pravachane cha shamascha svadhyaya pravachane cha. See, all this, it's going on, some 20 or something. What is that? You do this, you follow the truth. You have to practice the truth. But along with Swadhyaya and Pravachana, you have to do following the truth whatever you are doing. That is Ritam, manifestation of the truth. But along with Swadhyaya, Pravachana, you do the tapas which I just now explained. But along with Swadhyaya and Pravachana. That means You should never, never, never miss Swadhyaya and Pravachana. We have been trying to make people understand that read at least a little of Bhagavad Gita, but most of the people do not listen. Shastra should not be left. Shastra is what keeps us on the way. Otherwise we will assume something that and go on sleeping in the name of meditation and thinking that I have become self-realized. It is much more important to have a proper personality. Our civilization, Indian civilization, it has been at the height of, nobody can imagine the kind of peak it had attained. Why it is suffering now? It is because we have lost this austerities and practices which our Upanishads have been emphasizing again and again and again. Swadhyaya means learning. There are two meanings. One is to know about the Swa, that means our real identity. But general meaning is studying the scriptures and mainly listening to the Guru and then studying in our own. Having the interpretation from the Guru, then studying on our own. But it means study, self-study also. And pravachana means one is that teaching, another is that prakrishta vachana, means it is just not reading. You have to think about the meaning, you have to interpret them, you have to spend time on them. You may read only one mantra a day, but you have to spend at least a few hours to understand that, or you have to consult many books to understand that, so that it becomes a pravachana. And the common meaning of pravachana is teaching also. What happens when you are teaching? You will have to understand very well, you have to reply the questions given by the students. So your learning will become further deeper. But more than that is that whatever we have gained, we have to pass it on to the next generation. So I have known the self, but I don't care about anybody else. That is not the way. Whatever I have known to be beneficial, I must work for transferring that to the next generation. Other than that, otherwise we are becoming selfish, we have not realized. Then in the next shloka, that is the 10th shloka, 11th shloka. There all these are coming. Satyam vada, dharmam chara, swadhyayatma, sadhvayat, ma pramadaha. Again they are saying, don't be negligent about swadhyaya. Acharyaya priyam dhanamahritya prajatantum ma vyavachchetsihi. These are all very important, that you should not break the lineage. For the grihasthis, they have even said that before you take to vanaprastha, see that your children get married and you have the grandchild. So much is spoken about the maintenance of a proper lineage, because whenever you are giving birth, procreating a child, it means you are the Brahma. How long that generation will live? Normally infinite. You don't know. So you are giving birth to a new civilization in a way. You are playing the role of Brahma. So have you given that importance to your procreation is the main point. That is why we have done so many anushtanas before pregnancy, after birth, to give us the importance of procreation. Everything, they are so deep and vast in their perception. As we go through, let us see what we can do. Okay. Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha.
Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanno Vishnurukramaha.
Shanno Vishnurukramaha.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo.
नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो
त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि
त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि
त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि
ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि
ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि
तन्मामवतु
तन्मामवतु
तद्वक्तारमवतु
तद्वक्तारमवतु
अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्
अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम्
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
हरिः